What's going on, traders? Welcome to the SPACs attack. You guys already know where you guys are at. We're going to be doing a little bit of a battle look today, guys. It's Chris versus Money Mitch. You guys stay tuned. We got some great battles. Definitely smash the like button, and let's get the show started. What's going on, Benzinga traders? How we doing today? If you guys are enjoying the market, let me know by getting a good like button. Let's go ahead and bring in my man, the battle today. He's looking good. He's got a little bit of a Euro thing going on here. Let's bring him on, Chris Katje.
Hey, what's going on, Mitch? Yeah, Netherlands play at 3 p.m. Eastern time today.
So we'll know where you'll be at 3 p.m., right?
I gotta support the boys in orange, with this Netherlands jersey today. I'm hoping for another win. We've got 3 points. We're atop the group, but, let's see what happens. So,
who's your favorite player?
Memphis Depay, he's a young guy, and he really has stepped up. There was some problems a couple of years ago, some questions about, maybe attitude and work ethic, and it looks like, he's put that behind him. So he didn't get a goal in the first game. If you follow me on Twitter and you see some of my bet history, you know that I'm hoping that he scores a goal today. So we'll see.
We'll have to take a look. Of course, guys, we're going to get into our headlines, and then we'll get into the battle. We got some great battles coming up. I'll give you guys just a little bit of a preview right now so that you guys know to stick it back around. We're going to have some battles. The first one up is going to be, of course, DKNG versus RSI. We'll get into that one. Then we're going to get into stepping a little bit into that 3D life. We'll get a little bit into that DM versus SPFR. And then we're going to be moving into an area that I want to get into that battle. Chris and I have probably battled on these stocks before, but a little bit of space talk action with SPCE and SFTW there. As you guys can see, the satellite versus the plane and the jet there, whatever you guys want to call it, jet, plane, I don't know what it is. But definitely, guys, stay tuned. We're going to get into that. And up next, take us back to those headlines.
All right. Yeah. So let's dive into headlines. Before we do, I know we're still getting some viewers to join us here, starting up a little bit early today. Go ahead, smash that like, share the stream so we can get some more viewers in here. But let's dive in. So up first, we have RIDE, Lordstown Motors. So Lordstown Motors, former SPAC. Company today kind of reversing course here, saying that they have no binding purchase orders from customers. Those vehicle purchase deals are not binding orders. They also deferred their shareholder meeting until August 19th. Any other day, I would expect this news to send shares down, but we have ride up actually 2% to $11. Remember that the CEO and CFO stepped down, and the new CEO actually talking about those orders the other day, and it seems like the company just cannot figure out how to communicate what type of orders those truly are to investors. But RIDE up 2% despite that negative news out today. Then we have Fisker FSR, which I do own shares in. Shares up 6% today, having a good day. They announced a manufacturing partnership with Magna International. This isn't a huge new news item. It's an extension of a previous deal. The key takeaways from that news for me is that they continue to say that they will debut the Fisker Ocean in November at the Los Angeles Auto Show. So again, if you're looking at Fisker, not in Fisker, I think they actually have a strong second half of the year here. They're going to be able to demo that vehicle in November. They're going to get into production next year. So I think Fisker shares, lots of catalysts towards the second half of this year. So keep an eye out on that one. And SRNG, Soaring Eagle, merging with Ginkgo Bioworks. So they're going to host an investor day on June 24th. So as we know, these investor days have a tendency to move the stock, right? Because you get some announcements from the company, you can get some guidance updates. And for a company going public via SPAC, that's a main way for them to communicate, their initiatives. And then one of their subsidiaries, Motif Foodworks, announced a $226 million Series B funding round. And that company is actually gearing up to debut its plant-based food line. So I'm not sure when we're going to get that, but I think that could be a focus here at that investor day. Keep an eye out, SRNG. There's a chance maybe Motif Foodworks, gets spun off down the road after this deal gets completed. Then ARK Funds. We haven't talked about ARK a ton lately other than adding those DraftKings shares, but a pretty sizable purchase yesterday. So ARK Funds added 1.3 million shares of CMIIU. So that's the units for the SPAC that's merging with Soma Logic. Now, remember that ARK was actually part of the PIPE deal for Soma Logic. So they've been adding shares of CMIIU in small doses, but yesterday going, with a big stake here. So keep an eye out. CMIIU, also trading as CMII, merging with Soma Logic. I want to highlight Tattooed Chef. So I didn't see this analyst note yesterday, but someone shared on Twitter. So Oppenheimer talking about Tattooed Chef, and they see the sell-through velocity keeps exceeding all expectations, with new products from Tattooed Chef equaling around half of their sales. Target sales up strongly year to date, and they're outselling Stouffer's and Amy's Kitchen, so two other brands in that space. And saying that the ad campaign check-ins are revealing that brand awareness for Tattooed Chef is up 60%. And then also 14 SKUs set for a future food service launch. So I think I called this one out, last year, earlier this year, that Tattooed Chef, maybe they start partnering with some restaurants or food service to get their products out there. And it looks like that is coming soon. So we could get clarification on that soon. So Oppenheimer saying we see a clear path to $1 billion in revenue by 2026, a path to $500 million in the current capacity. So keep an eye out, TTCF. Then some clarifications from the Russell indexes, an update issued. So I said that there was a short list of companies to be added to the Russell 2000, Russell 3000. We now have several moves being made. So Clover, CLOV, will be deleted from the Russell 3000 due to the failing of voting rights. Hims and Hers, HIMS, also being deleted. And LAZR, Luminar Technologies, also being deleted. And then the one gainer here is UWMC, UWM Holdings, being added to the Russell 3000. So again, it's important to pay attention to these Russell indexes that, some of that was pending moves that will not go through. So those are some names to watch there. And then a couple deals to talk about. We have FAII, their merger approved. It will trade as ATIP later this week. And then LACQ setting a vote of June 28th. And VGAC trading as ME for 23andMe beginning today. Yesterday's movers, we had ROCR up 2% on its deal announcement. ASTS up 6%, getting that interest from Wall Street Bets, the 5G mobile play. Arrival shares up 10% yesterday. Looks like they're down significantly today, though, so not keeping that move. And then the big gainer to mention here is MAPS, MAPS, up 9% yesterday. Was up 12% after hours Wednesday. Started trading with that new name and ticker yesterday. So keep an eye out, MAPS. And then one rumor yesterday, we have KRNL Infarm, a startup focused on indoor and urban farming, is in talks to go public with Kernel Group Holdings. That rumor coming from Bloomberg says that it could be valued at more than $1 billion Indoor and vertical farming, a hot sector here for SPACs. Of course, we had App Harvest on the show last week, APPH, and then also SV bringing a competitor public in that same space, Arrow Farms. So keep an eye out. And then one new deal this morning. This one was rumored a couple days ago. We have GSAH, that's Goldman Sachs Acquisition Holdings Corp. 2, announcing a merger with Mirion, a global leader in radiation technology, serving radiation hardware, software, and alignment for hospitals, urgent care clinics, dental offices, and vet clinics, along with nuclear power plants. Deal values the company at $2.5 billion, a pipe of $900 million, includes investments from Janus Henderson, Fidelity, BlackRock, Neuberger Berman, and Goldman Sachs. Public GSAH shareholders will own 36.8% of the company after the merger. So Mirion has a history of more than 50 years, a global leader in ionizing radiation detection and measurement technologies, saying that there's high barriers to entry in many of its segments, and a strong history of relationships with customers is a key advantage. So again, main business areas, nuclear power plants and services, labs and research, and then also civil and defense segments. Market share leading position in 14 of the 17 categories that it operates in. Key customers include McKesson, Mayo Clinic, Cardinal Health, Cleveland Clinic, Exelon, PSEG Power, Westinghouse, and so average customer relationship, 10 years in industrial, 15 years in medical, and 30 years in nuclear. So many long-serving customers. They're targeting low to mid-single-digit growth across several markets going forward. They have high recurring revenue, 70% of its revenue coming from replacement, maintenance, and recurring items. A strong history of mergers and acquisitions, which they see continuing. They're going to grow through their current operating segments, acquisitions, and also work on margin expansion. So revenue of $651 million in 2020, EBITDA margins of around 25%. Revenue is split 39% nuclear, 44% medical and labs, and 17% diversified industrials. Margins were 29% for industrial technology and 31% for medical. North America making up 45% of the company's revenue, followed by Europe at 35%. And they're forecasting revenue growth of 5% annually from 2021 to 2023. So revenue projected at $689 million this fiscal year, $723 million next year. Again, GSAH shares beaten down on this rumor. We're up about 1% today to 1013. This one's not getting a ton of love out there. I just think it's not a huge, sexy target. But again, real revenue, real EBITDA margins, and they're serving some of the largest hospitals in the world for, radiation detection. So keep an eye out on this one. I think it could be a strong play from Analyst once the merger goes through due to the revenue and the margins. So GSAH, the deal announcement today. That's what I've got, Mitch. So we can probably dive into that watch list. I know we got quite a few movers out there today.
Definitely. We're going to go ahead and dive into the watch list. Looks like the chat is saying that we got a blue man here today.
Yeah, I didn't change my background color. I put on the jersey, and I was thinking about that, but
you look blue, a little blue, bro. Don't be blue, bro. Be happy, bro. Turn that frown upside down.
I got the smile. That's what matters, right?
That's
whether
what matters,
it looks
bro.
blue behind me, there's a smile here. If the Netherlands lose today, I probably won't have a smile tomorrow, but that's to be determined. So,
all right, let's go ahead and take a look into that watch list. All right, traders, let's go ahead and take a look, see what we see out there. We just mentioned GSAH. That one is going up. We'll see if it can get towards that wick that it had on the 14th, which was all the way up towards a high of 1075. We'll see if it can start getting on up there. Today, man, another push up the truck. Nikola up today. They said that they released news on a partnership with CNH Industrials to develop and produce a complete lineup of zero-emission heavy-duty trucks. But one of the things that I tell you guys is that read the headline again. Produce a complete lineup of zero-emission heavy-duty trucks. I mean, this is something they got to develop it too. So this is not something that you're seeing like they're like, okay, so next week we got this, guys, just come on through. Let's bust these out right now. No, it's not like that. It's a long-term approach, and I think that's definitely what you're seeing here. You've seen this stock make multiple attempts to come up. Look how every single time it tries to come up, fail, 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 or are we going to fail again? That's what we got to keep a look on. So we'll see if we can get back down here. But as you can see, I mean, the patterns don't lie, right? Those big old U shapes and then gap down. U shape. Oh, we're not going to hold it. So that's just what I'd point out there. I mean, if I see a stock doing that, what I want to see is when stocks kind of push up, they hold a pattern. Very simple explanation would be kind of to look at MP. MP was the stock that started a move up, a big move up, right? From about $14, $16 when we had them on. And then when it got up towards that level, it just started actually holding patterns, holding sideways. When we go up, we actually get some sideways consolidation, not just go up, crack down. Go up, crack down. That's what you don't want to be seeing on these charts. Those are the worst things you want to see. Today, Fisker up again today. I talked about it in pre-market prep. How EV has been coming back, and you saw a quick pullback, but you did see the strength come back. And I saw good news coming out of NIO. NIO talking about how they're trying to make a cheaper production car. Definitely focus on that. But today, good number, good push up there by Fisker. And then if you look at some other kind of EVs is starting to come back. Helion also up today. Look at that bounce back. So I'm really starting to pay attention to these EVs. They're really starting to get a lift again, and we could see another wave of runners coming into this area. If you look, we have some other ones that we'll get into. I want to see and see if kind of stocks like this start really going also, kind of Velodyne, the LiDAR companies. Let's see if those can start moving. Of course, gambling has been on my radar for a while. Today, you're getting Genius to bounce back a significant amount. I will be as honest as I can be, guys. I averaged down into the move yesterday and feeling confident about that average down. I got in just slightly above 770s, around 780s to that average down yesterday, averaging down closer towards 1850s. Sorry to say that right there. So I'm going to be looking for this one to get back above 19s. That's going to show me strength, but I'd also take some down back by 1750s again. So let's see if this one can start bouncing. You guys know I'm long-term on Genie and just going to keep an eye on it. Any of the other ones standing out for you, Chris?
Yeah, I'll take the flip side here, and I'll call out a couple that are trading down today. So we have a rival, ARVL, down 7% today. Remember, this was one that became, a retail trade, a possible Reddit interest stock due to the low float. We're down 7% today. This is one I've liked long term. I kind of want to get away from that move that it's had due to the retail interest. So I think we actually see this one continue to trade down. And that's when I'd be looking to get in, is at the price that we saw, before this big move up. So what is that, like 18-ish? I like this one, and I didn't really believe in that big move that it had, that it was going to be able to sustain it. And that's what it looks like is happening, today. Another one down today, Tattooed Chef, down 4%. That's one that I called out in headlines, right? TTCF. And, whether you love plant food or have ever tried it, which myself, I haven't ate much plant-based food, that note from Oppenheimer talking about how they're, outselling, our Annie's and Stouffer's, the retail checks at Target are strong. And then also that they're looking to get into food service. I haven't really heard them announce much on this. So I think that's a future catalyst, that once they make that announcement, you start to see some analysts really, size up the market that they have which could send shares higher. So, this one is on its way down from that upward momentum that it has had, earlier in May and June. But this is one that I think could get some love on some new announcements. And then also, Mitch, we've got MUDS, MUDS, at about $11 a share today. This is one that's really come back down from some of those highs. And, we've talked plenty about it, right? That the tops, if they announce those new NFT packs, I think we're going to see shares go up. They also, any news out there from them has the potential to make this one a runner. So, you have shares trading today as low as they did on deal announcement day, right? That's what it looks like I'm seeing here. So if you were looking to get into tops, today is the opportunity you had on deal announcement. There's a chance they still go lower, but you definitely weren't chasing this one. And now you have an opportunity to maybe get in.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing here is kind of a little bit of a gap fill. It had a little gap up here from the 9th of April up towards the 12th of April here. And this was kind of like a Friday to Monday. It kind of just pushed on up here. The close here and the high was a 1090 and the close was 1085. So look for that number to get to today. And then I would love to see a big volume step up there and kind of buy the dip, buy that support there. We'll see if that kind of holds. I think this one's coming back towards 1090, 1085s. That's MUDs, but it will get interesting for me once we get into those 10s because we'll have underneath it that big support underneath it at that 995. And one of the things that I've been talking about with MUDs is that I expect their new cards going into July because of the All-Star break that you'll get from Major League Baseball. And I think they could kind of maybe even come out with the all-star cards to kind of make those as NFTs. Maybe they come out with that. Maybe they come out with a new series, but it also includes like special limited edition all-star cards from this year. So I'm going to be looking into that. They'll be releasing kind of the all-star lineups closer towards like a week before kind of the All-Star game. So you're looking in towards kind of that fifth week, July 5th. Definitely pay attention, guys. I think that's when you start seeing kind of the trend coming back in this one. I've been pointing that out. We'll see if it gets running with that catalyst. All right, let's go ahead. Last one. Let's take a look at one more down on the downside. I did see LEV take a pullback also, so definitely pay attention to that one. It's looking interesting. 18s look really interesting to me on that one. It's made a run before to 23, and I think this one is just kind of a long-term stock to kind of definitely hold and put in the long-term account. We'll keep an eye on this one. As you guys know, these has been some of the ones that I've definitely looked at for long-term holds. So we'll see how those develop. All right, let's keep it going, guys. Let's get into our battle time. I know you guys are probably super excited. Let me know in the chat if you guys are excited about us doing kind of this little battle mentality. One of the things that we wanted to do is kind of do this battle for you guys. It's really not necessarily for me to go against Chris, but I'm just let you know I'm gonna win, baby. Oh, but let's not get too far into that.
You got two competitive guys here, but remember, viewers, at the end of the day, two companies in a matchup, maybe both end up being winners. We're just going to each take a side here, and then we're going to let the chat decide, by pressing either one or two. So let's go ahead. Let's smash that like, though. There's a lot of people in here, and it looks like we only have 45 likes. Let's get them likes climbing up so we can get into this first battle here. Are you guys rap? No, this will not be a rap battle. This is going to not be a rap battle. It's going to be a fact battle.
What's up?
How about that? A fact battle.
Hey, you guys don't want to get a little. What's up? What's up? All right, guys. Like we said, guys, definitely put a 1 if you guys are on each side. So what we're gonna do is let's not do numbers. Let's put the actual ticker. If you like the ticker, put the ticker in the chat, guys. So we're gonna be doing the battle. We'll get you guys the tickers. We'll get each side. We're going to give bullish views on each side. We're not going to really try to hit each other's stock on the bear side, but we'll definitely give our bullish views for both sides. And then we'll go ahead and kind of show some numbers that we have, some ideas. Chris, you guys know he'll be pulling off the Chrisopedia, but you might see Mitch pull off some investor decks. But hey, that's how it is here. Let's go ahead and let's get right into it. You guys already know we got some bars. Lay them down, Mike. We're gonna have to bring you on here. Mitch turning it up. But let's keep it going. Let's
Mitch,
get into
Mitch,
these battles.
I gotta give a shout out here. We've got Kadir in the chat. Greetings from Holland. Holland. You know, here we go. Netherlands in the house. So let's go. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Kadir. Yeah, let's go Netherlands. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get into those battles, Mitch.
First battle up, guys, is going to be, of course, smash the like, guys. Let's get into this. We'll get into all three battles if we get towards the like goal. The last battle will be held off if we don't hit that 100 likes. So do us a favor, hit that like. But first battle up, of course, we're going to go into DKNG DraftKings. Some people don't even call this one a SPAC anymore because it's been so de-SPACed for so long. But we're going to go against a young gun here, RSI. You guys already know who's on both sides, but let's go ahead and let's start the battle. Chris, what's going on? What do you got for DKNG?
All right. Yeah. Some people may not consider DraftKings, you know, a SPAC. It did complete that de-SPACing process, but let's face it, DraftKings is one of the best performing SPACs out there. It's kind of the poster child for what a SPAC can look like if done right. So I'm taking the side of DraftKings here. You know, there's only 3 online sports betting operators that are in 10 or more states. DraftKings is live in more states than any other operator. So in New Jersey, they have the number 2 market share. New Jersey, the most mature market out there for online sports betting. First quarter revenue for DraftKings, $312 million, up 175% year over year. 1.5 million monthly unique players. That was also up 114%. Average revenue per monthly unique player, $61. And they launched in Michigan. They launched in Virginia. 12 states at the end of the first quarter, representing 25% of the U.S. population. Pennsylvania, they're number 2. You know, that's Barstool Sports, Penn National, you know, their big base. They have a number 3 share. DraftKings beating them there. In Illinois, DraftKings, 33.5% share in March, 42.3% share in February. You know, they're the market leader there. In Michigan, DraftKings, second in the month of May, 28.1% share, trailing only FanDuel. FanDuel, you can't just buy shares easily. DraftKings is the pure play here, the market leader for investors to get excited about and get into. They also, beyond sports betting, they're expanding into media, right? They just created a new chief media officer. They're investing in other media companies. They announced they acquired VSIN, a sports betting media company. I think they continue to push further into media, which will help them grow their customer base. So again, DraftKings, market leader. They're in more states than any other online sports betting operator. You know, in this case, I got to stick with the leader. So DraftKings, my pick. DKNG. What do you got, Mitch?
All right. I see you. I mentioned a couple of those strong points here. I'll put them right back up. But definitely, I see you. All right, let's go ahead and let's get into RSI here, guys. And so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. First things first is I want to show up. The analyst ratings right here. So I'm on Tip Ranks. I'll give them a little shout out here. The average here, guys, and the average analyst price target is a 21 and 33 cents. You're talking about a stock that's trading under 14 right now. So just that upside look, we're talking about a 59% upside, right? You're talking about 6 analyst ratings here and only 1 giving it a hold, 5 giving it a buy. All right, let's keep going. Let's go into some of the presentation here. One of the things that I want to point out is, of course, look at this kind of relative here. So if you look at the revenues, let's compare it strictly with DraftKings right here. So you're talking about 5.4 times the revenues here versus that 24.1 times the revenue. So definitely you're paying up for that DraftKings, you know, and I think you can get a cheaper discount by going for a Rush. Look at this revenue growth expected towards 2024, 65% for Rush and only 34% for DraftKings. Where's that coming from? I think that's big on promotion and kind of fight for the customer acquisition, but we're going to be focusing in and really, I mean, look at the pricing, right? We're talking DraftKings up there by 50s, Rush Street Interactive here by the 13s, but then look at the revenues. Does it match up? It's about half of DraftKings revenue here, and we're still not nowhere near half that pricing, right? And we're not trading up at $25 for RSI. We're trading at $13. So if it's half the revenue, we're going to be paying attention to seeing kind of how the kind of value kind of meets up. The fundamentals are definitely making sense. One of the things that I definitely point out is also they do have some Colombia and international exposure. I think that's a good thing to add here. That exposure to the international game could expand over the new time. And really, Rush Street is not just only about sports betting. It's actually mainly a casino market here and a gaming play. And I think that's what I really like. They got the Sugar House. We could take a look here at some of their kind of their betting. Look at their websites. They got Bet Rivers, guys. They're pushing on up. They give you some kind of access. Look at the states that they have. You got Illinois. You can go into different states. And of course, that New Jersey Sugar House that I just mentioned for their gaming. This one's a monster move here. Definitely stay tuned to this. I think this is going to continue to move, and we could see RSI continue moving on up. Now, one thing just to support both of them, I wanted to get into a little bit of a both support here. So if we look at the overall online sports betting and iGaming, this is from Round Hill Investments. So definitely shout out there to Round Hill. Look at these kind of growing share of the global market. I think this is just going to continue moving, guys. I think as you'll see kind of online gaming just really kind of take off and continue moving on up. The implied market has gone up towards a look in the billions of 23 here. So we'll definitely take a look at it as we see gaming kind of increase. But really, I think at the end of the day, I think both of these are going to continue moving as we've seen state by state. You know what? The last thing I'd give out just for sports betting overall. Look at this chart. This chart's really all about possible 2021 and 2022 states. You got Florida mentioned there, Georgia, Texas. Look at this, Arizona. We've already kind of heard mentions of sports books opening up there. I think you're going to see a lot more willing to go into that legal state, and then that itself is going to help both of them come down to the revenues. So what are you guys thinking? You guys in the chat, let's see who's the winner here. DKNG, if you guys support DKNG, DraftKings, put RSI if you guys are a Rush Street fan. Let's see what we got in the chat, Chris, and what do you think about my kind of push here?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. This was a tough one to take, one of these two companies because I like them both, and the thing I'll say with Rush Street is they're focusing more on the profits, right? Which you pointed out there. And the other thing is I think consolidation comes in the industry, right? Rush Street could be very attractive to a larger player like even a DraftKings because they have that technology stack. They have exposure to some new states, including New York. So I like them both. For me, I was going with DraftKings because they're the market leader, and I think they maintain that market share and that good brand visibility. But RSI, a very good pick. So, and it looks like you got some love before we even started tallying up the votes. So I saw, what do we got? I got 4, 5, 6 for RSI. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If Donkey Kong means DKNG, it looks like we got a tie right now, Mitch, 6-6. That Penn National vote, I mean, you can throw that one out, but
Donkey Kong getting it on like Donkey Kong.
Oh, and then another DraftKings. It looks like 7-6 DraftKings. What do we think? 30 more seconds here for votes. Oh, and there. Oh, RSI.
There you go. A little bit of a win.
We might be tied again.
He said first, but he changed on over.
Oh, there we go.
We flipped them. I flipped them. Somehow I flipped the vote. There you go. That's what you're supposed to do, right? As a politician.
That's right.
Vote for
That's
Mitch.
how you win.
Governor of Colorado or governor of California. You guys know who that
there
is.
comes some more votes. You got some more love, Mitch. So
there you go. Shots fired. Shots fired.
It looks like RSI winning this first matchup. Mitch getting the victory with Rush Street Interactive. I'm going to go ahead and call it. Looks like it's like 10 or 11 to 6 here. And also Vu calling for a Indy versus ACEV. Looks like the chip sector matchup.
We might have to do that tomorrow.
To our list.
You know what, guys? Just put on some matchups all day long. If you guys got some matchups you guys want to see, we're thinking about doing this tomorrow. We're only going to do it if we get to a certain like point. Show us that you guys like this setup, this kind of strategy, this format, and we'll even do this. We're willing to do this again tomorrow. I'd be willing to do it. So definitely smash the like, guys. Let's keep it going. Let's go into the next battle. I know we want to get into all of them today, so let's keep going. Next up, we're going to go into our 3D battle. Of course, this is something that's going to take a little bit of time, and this is not for you guys. I know I saw in the chat, taking trades off of it. This is not what that's for. This is for deep dives, so you guys don't have to do so much of that DD. We're doing some of that DD for you. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into the next ones up. The battle is DM versus SPFR. And so one of the things that we're going to talk about here is, of course, they're a little bit different, but let's go ahead and let's talk about what each one has to bring to the table. It looks like DM's on the top. So you know what? I'm going to go first this time.
Looks Chris. Like it's you this time. Yep.
I'm going to go first this time, and then we'll go kind of move into kind of the next area here. Let me go ahead and pull up my notes here. All right. So there you go. So one of the things that I want to point out is, of course, is that when you get into kind of the 3D area, we're talking about a kind of a change, a transformation really in the manufacturing industry, right? And so when we talk about the manufacturing industry, one thing that we need to talk about is how's the growth going to be in kind of the next decade, right? And so that's my first kind of added point here. And so it could actually help both of them out really, but let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about it here. So the additive manufacturing industry is expected to grow 11 times over the next decade. So you're talking about a move from about let's say right now in the 2020s, a $12 billion industry up to $146 billion. So massive an ability to grow here. Now, what really separates themselves and why are they special, right? And so let's go ahead and let's get into kind of the comparisons. We're going to move down here, getting down towards kind of here. These are the metal additive manufacturing technology comparisons and some companies that you can step up here. And so I want to compare it to really kind of the legacy binder jetting that has been one of the major leaders in the industry before Desktop Metal really stepping up here. So one of the things that throughput, what they can actually put out, the parts per year, guys. So you're looking at here, and you can see it, Mark Forged, the GE kind of, and then it goes into the HP using that legacy binder jetting. It can only make up to 10,000 parts per year. And you're talking in Desktop Metals up to 100,000. So 10 times the potential there. And so that's what really stands out to me for DM. And if you guys can go into some kind of other parts here, but definitely one of the things that you can see here is that, man, they're definitely taking what used to be the strongest one and really just kicking it out of the water. We can go ahead and go a little bit further. I want to get into slide 14 here. So slide 14, what is their technology and how they're really disruptive is they got the world's largest high-speed DLP printer. And so this really puts them in a competitive advantage, and why I think they're definitely over. They build speeds up to 100 times those of the legacy thermoplastic printers. And legacy printers used to be kind of the main leader in this industry. Now you're seeing them really step up and take that on. So the last one, the slide that I'd look at is 19. When you look at 19, you're going to see some of these investment highlights. Of course, first thing they talk about is kind of how that growth is going to definitely keep going. But really, I think focus on the bottom side. The high margins reoccurring revenue system, including consumable and service, drive multiple revenues and gross profit after the initial sale. And one thing that you're going to definitely see is the growth margin improvement in operating leverage and profitability increase over time. So as this time keeps going, the technology keeps getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Thus, I think you're going to see those partnerships take off. DM has gone into everything. I mean, they even got dental. So I think they definitely have an advantage. What do you got to say, Chris? I think they got an advantage. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough act to follow up. The one thing I'll say is I love the 3D printing market, right? This additive manufacturing, it's going to, be the next generation for industrials. And you've got Desktop Metal. That's a great company. I'm going to talk about SPFR here, Jaws Spitfire, which is bringing to market Velo 3D. And one of the keys to Velo 3D, right, is that they have a relationship with SpaceX. There's not a ton of publicly traded companies where you can get this big of exposure to SpaceX, since SpaceX is privately traded. So Velo 3D has the ability to manufacture previously impossible geometrics. So, I mean, we're talking about game-changing technology that no one else could do. SpaceX is using specific components that they had issues manufacturing before, Velo 3D helping with that. So that includes 3D printing for engines and other components for SpaceX. And I mean, the customer base, which here's this slide here. I mean, you talk about some industry leaders. You've got SpaceX, Aerojet, Honeywell, Raytheon, Honda, Boom Supersonic. I mean, you're across several sectors there. Your space, your aviation and defense, your energy, and then, I mean, Honda, your electric vehicles possibly, or, cars. So I like the customer base of Velo 3D. They're projecting revenue to grow 92% annually from 2020 to 2026. And higher performance products, which offer lower lead time, lower cost for their customers. Huge addressable market, additive manufacturing, which also includes Desktop Metal. Velo 3D really focusing on the metal. So 3D printing metal items. They have a full stack solution. The head of additive manufacturing at SpaceX said that Velo 3D is 5 years ahead of any competition. I mean, that's strong support here for Velo 3D. They already have distribution in place for North America, and Asia Pacific and other regions. And they have a recurring revenue model, asset light and high margin. We love recurring revenue, right? They're going to sell these 3D printers and then they're going to make revenue on the repair, on the parts. So, I think this is a great business. So Velo 3D merging with SPFR is the side that I'm taking here. So that's our battle. 3D printing, additive manufacturing. I mean, if you guys don't own any stocks in this industry, I think you should at least look at this sector, because I really think 5 to 10 years from now, 3D printing, metal, wood, all these other products is just going to be a game changer. So go ahead, drop the ticker in the chat, DM if you support Desktop Metal, SPFR if you support Velo 3D. Let's see who wins this second battle in the 3D printing market. What do you guys think out there? Oh, that old mute trick.
Good Lord. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you guys are a big DM fan or SPFR fan. Let us know which one do you guys think wins, which one got the battle here. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Let's see what we see in the chat. I saw in the chat a couple messages definitely supporting us. That's what I want to see, guys. Definitely throw the hands in the air. You already know. Looks like Ken is even watering the garden here, just listening to us. That's what I like to hear. I can't blame you. I got a little garden myself. I actually got a little bird feeder for the fiance. You know, had to get some birds up here going. You guys already know. Enjoy the day. That's what I like to hear. Now we're starting to see the votes coming through. I'm going to start pulling them up, and it looks like we got a little bit of a landslide here. All right, Chris coming with the heat this time.
I mean,
Chris coming with the heat.
I want the win, but I don't know if this should be a landslide, guys. I mean, these are two great companies out there. Oh, and Happy Mohammed also pointing out that we have not hit 100 likes, guys. We might not get to this third battle because we're not even at 100 likes. So, you know, and that might also mean no battles tomorrow, Mitch. You know, because it looks like maybe people aren't enjoying these battles as much as we thought that they would.
Yeah, guys, we're doing this for you guys out there. So definitely, if you guys have an opinion, I don't even care if you hit the no or hit the thumb down, but just give me an opinion. That's all that matters. Yeah, you just hit something. Tap.
It's kind of like voting on your SPAC, right? Either vote yes or vote no, but don't sit out a vote for the SPAC merger. You know, pick one way. Vote. Participate, right? Your freedom to vote also applies to SPAC mergers, so make sure you participate. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and say, Mitch, it looks like SPFR getting the victory here in that second battle. So, I mean, I guess for those keeping score at home, it would be Mitch won, Chris won, which would mean that would mean that the third battle to tie break, and it looks like we did hit 100 likes.
Boom, baby.
So
I joined in there, 112. Oh, looks like 113. Can we get to 150, 150, 150? Let me get it. 125, 114, 115, 116, 120 here. Let's go to the next battle.
Before we get to that third battle, I'm just curious, guys. Can you drop 1 in the chat if you would like to see more battles tomorrow, and 2 if you would rather have us do, you know, something different? So hit 1 for more battles, 2 for something different tomorrow's show. So let's hear what everyone wants for tomorrow's show.
Hey, you know how it is. It's always that one guy with the down, thumbs down. I'm not enjoying this.
Yeah, 1 thumbs down. I think we had that pretty early on too, because I feel like I was
always a little spam bot that likes to hit on the downside.
I think I was like number 5, and there was already 1 dislike, and I was like, really? Like, we just started. So
look at all those ones. They want to see.
There's a lot of ones.
They're enjoying it. They're having fun.
Battles tomorrow.
Let's keep it going. All right, next battle up, guys. We're going to get into a fun battle here. This one, I actually feel like I'm going to bring the fire. So you better step it up, Chris. I got the fire for this one. I've been waiting for this one. This is the final battle here. This is the battle that I've been wanting to win. I think I've battled with Chris before on these stocks. So let's bring them up here. We're going to go ahead and get into SPCE versus SFTW. We're talking Black Sky versus Virgin Galactic here. Let's see what happens here. The battle is on. What side are you guys on? Let me know in the chat. And it looks like, Chris, you got the lead this time. Let's see what happens. What side are you guys on in the chat? Before we get into the battle, let us know in the chat if you guys are on each side right now. All right, let's go into this battle, Chris.
All right, yeah, looks like I'm up first here in Virgin Galactic. No surprise out there. I have been a bull for this company, and I know there's many people out there, you know, that aren't as big of fans of this company, but I got to give this company some love. I also own shares of this company. So I'm going to talk about an analyst. So we have Morgan Stanley analyst, Christine Liwag. She talked about an equal weight rating. She actually lowered the price target. So I know that's not a great start here, right, for this battle. But the
Come
things
on, Chris, bring that fire.
The things I really liked was the revenue talk, right? So she talked about them hitting their first commercial flight in 2022, 2 commercial flights, 12 passengers, and then that's $4 million. But then that's going to ramp up significantly as they increase the number of flights per year, the number of different planes that they have, the number of passengers that they can take up. I mean, her revenue assumption, 13 spaceships, 40 flights per ship per year, 3,100 passengers. And then she also thinks that they can get $400,000 per seat. Right now, their reservations that they had already taken were 200 to 250,000. So this analyst actually thinks that they can double the price that they're charging due to demand. You know, we talk all the time, is there demand for people to go to space? We just saw someone pay $28 million to go up to space with Jeff Bezos, with Blue Origin. I think there is demand. Whether that demand lasts for years and years is yet to be seen. But Virgin Galactic, they're going to be a market leader in the space tourism industry. The analyst giving a $17 value to shares for space tourism, and then also giving $8 a share for point-to-point travel. That's something else to watch with Virgin Galactic, right? We talk about space tourism. I think they're going to be able to expand. They're going to be able to get into hypersonic flight. They have a partnership with NASA already to train pilots. They have a partnership with the Italian Air Force. I think they're going to be able to expand outside of the space tourism. The other thing is we talk Catalyst, right? So they just completed that successful flight from New Mexico. Their timeline now is getting more aggressive, right? Where we're seeing Blue Origin attempting to fly in July with Jeff Bezos. And there's new reports out that Virgin Galactic may, try to beat them. And they may fly Sir Richard Branson up July 4th weekend to space, which would make Virgin Galactic ahead of Blue Origin. And also that would mean that Virgin Galactic would be able to get passengers to space sooner than the current timelines from analysts. So I think that's something to really watch here. As of now, they're not going to fly passengers until late 2021 or early 2022. But again, if they announce that Richard Branson is going to space, I think these shares take off. Also, you have the reciprocal trade, right? If Blue Origin successfully flies in July, I think Virgin Galactic gets some love, right? Because Blue Origin's not public. This is another pure play space company for space tourism. Until Blue Origin goes public, if it ever does, Virgin Galactic is the way to play this. So you have Catalyst coming, right? The announcement of the Branson flight, the additional timeline, and those first passenger flights. Shares have ran the past couple weeks after that successful flight, but I think based on those catalysts, there's more room for SPCE to run later on this year. And again, over 8,000 reservations at 200,000 to 250,000 per seat. And Morgan Stanley saying, hey, Virgin Galactic, you can actually charge double. So that's another catalyst to watch. Will Virgin Galactic charge more? And also Blue Origin has not set its pricing. How much will they charge? So that's what I've got, Mitch, SPCE. What do you got, SFTW?
All right. I see you bringing the fire. Look, probably everyone in the chat is probably thinking, how is Mitch going to follow up that? You saw a lot of fans in there. Shake my head whenever I see Nicola up. Don't worry, Brandy. I think me too, but we won't get into all that. Let's keep it going here. Let's keep it going. SPCE, definitely, you brought some fire. I see you. I think I helped out also. Put some images in the background, showed you that rocket. But hey, I got some of my fire of my own. Let's go ahead and let's get into that. All right, guys. So what I want to talk about is, of course, you got to understand what this really is, guys. So you got to really first think about what is behind Black Sky, right? So Black Sky is really a disruptive, vertically integrated business model that removes the barriers of entry to imagery, right? And so for a long time, this was very, very expensive. And so what they did was they actually figured out a way to bring down the cost here, the image acquisition down by 90% compared to the existing competitor here. And so one of the things that they noted, and we'll start looking through some of this, is that what really gives them that advantage and why do they really stand out? And so there's a couple of different things really that I think you got to really focus on. So first things first is you got to understand that Black Sky reduces that 90% compared to the competition, the Spectra, SaaS. And really what it does is that you're going to start seeing that what do? They build small satellites, right? They build this via their 50% stake in Leo Stella, which then launches into low orbit. And they do this with kind of partnerships, right? So they actually launched 2 satellites on the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket in August of 2020 and currently have 5 satellites in orbit. And so one of the things that you can definitely get into and you're going to see is that with this, they actually are working their way to more production, right? They have 16 satellites in production with plans for them to be in orbit by the end of 2021. So we're not talking about 2022. We're talking about 16 satellites in production, supposedly up by the end of 2021. So pay attention to this, as well as 4 spare satellites ready to deploy whenever necessary. So the primary competition, Maxar. You guys know how I feel about Maxar. You guys know I'm a big Maxar fan and really support that company. But really, what do they do differently from Maxar? So what do they do differently is that Maxar actually outsources their satellite manufacturing. They outsource it to Raytheon and Airbus, who build their satellites in-house. So one of the things that you can see is comparable, right? So Airbus is that comparable right now, right? So they're launching 2 satellites in their 4 satellite kind of constellation in 2021. And they actually cost to build these 4 satellites. The cost was $232 million, averaging for $58 million per satellite. And we're talking about Airbus here. Okay. So if $58 million per satellite for Airbus, they should be comparable, right? No, it's nowhere near in comparison to Black Sky. Black Sky was able to build and launch their Pathfinder 1 satellite at a total cost of just $10 million. That's a big difference than, let's say, $58 million per satellite. So what does this mean? That the monthly cost of the imagery for about 25 square kilomiles is just about $12,000 with Black Sky, compared to legacy competition that is in these Airbus, and that costs up to $120,000 per that same kind of square footage. And so you're seeing that difference, the difference in price. And one of the things that I'll get into is kind of their AI. Their AI is really what separates them and takes them to even another level from that. So one of the things, and let me go ahead and pull it up here. So one of the things that you can talk about with Black Sky is this area. Most people are looking at, that legacy space, that they're in. But really, look at the next generation from data and analytics. This is really what kind of company they really are. What separates themselves is that in their Spectra, their SaaS product really allows clients to access imagery on demand and build AI tools, streamline a mountain of external monitoring data sets, and an ability to really kind of sell these data sets for the public and at a cheaper price, of course. So essentially, they're not just an imaging company. They're taking all this data and they're holding it and they're selling the data. You guys can think about, let's say, Google Earth. Google Earth was one of the first ones to really do this. And that's where this company really got the idea, I think, developing over time. But they themselves hold a massive amount of data online. You cannot, the old way to do imagery was taking these images and then taking them down to your computer and processing them. You can't do this anymore. You want some AI, some help. And that's why I think Black Sky has a competitive advantage, not only in satellites, but in space overall. Boom, boom. I tried to bring the fire. I tried to bring the fire. I tried to explain it.
Mitch, I'll even give you a key here that I think it was the last slide you had there. The companies that they were working with, Virgin Galactic was on that list, right? So yeah. So they're providing satellites for space companies that include Virgin Galactic. So, I'm a fan of both companies. I know you love Black Sky and you're not as big of a fan of Virgin Galactic, which is perfectly fine. SPCE, my pick here. SFTW, I think, is great. I think satellites are needed for way more sectors than people even realize. We got a great comment in the chat from Vu talking about, satellites being needed by our troops in the defense sector, right? So that's a key advantage for them too. So,
I've talked about their partnerships before. I can get into all that, but really, the thing that I always talk about with this company is not only that they're defense, but it's reoccurring revenue, right, guys? You're talking about defense contracts a lot of the times that they're getting, and those defense contracts, they come with a nice hefty price tag right up front. That's what I usually like. It's usually some revenue right to the bottom of their line, and it's usually right up front. And so this gives them an ability to actually use that money to go ahead and reinvest into their company, trying to keep pushing them to the next level. I think what the biggest thing to watch out for, and you guys can look at it, is they said it. They said it right here. 16 in production, all expected to be in orbit by the end of 2021. That's what you watch for. If you get that, I myself am going to be in this one. So I'll definitely be paying attention to that. Let's get the votes in the chat. What do you guys think? SPCE, SFTW, who takes the win? Who takes the last battle here? And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here in about 1 minute here, guys. We're supposed to wrap it up. Power Hour has a great interview coming on next. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up, but let's see who got the last victory here. Looking like I'm seeing some STW, so if you're an SPCE fan, definitely throw it in the chat. Let's see what happened here. Who won the battle?
I think there was some earlier votes. Some earlier votes back there.
Look at Chris trying to bring up these earlier votes here. No. The votes is now.
Now. Okay, guys. So you might have to revote. Yeah. So because I saw lots of
You might have to revote. You see, Chris is trying to win here.
This one I would expect this one to be a close battle, right? So.
There you go. SPCE starting to show up, but SFTW there. Who's gonna win it? Looks like right now we're at a 3-2 with SFTW winning right now. Can we get some more votes before we get on out of here?
We got 1 minute, guys, to wrap the show. So 30 more seconds here to vote so we can declare a winner. Right now, it looks like SFTW has it. So that would be our last winner.
4-3. Can we get one more vote? Ooh, looks like STW is going to take it. Winner, chicken dinner. So SFTW getting the win. Guys, remember, as Mitch said, this isn't a recommendation to go buy all of these, but you just saw some great DD and some presentations, right, from Mitch and myself on 6 different companies across 3 different sectors. So smash that like. Great value on this show. That's going to do it for us. Power Hour's got a great guest coming up, a CEO interview. So we want to make sure everyone gets over there. So make sure, stay tuned for Power Hour coming up next. All right, guys, going to go ahead and wrap it up here. It should be getting you over towards Power Hour. They have a great interview right up at 12 o'clock. Like always, guys, hit us up on Twitter if you guys haven't before. Chris Katje, you guys already know. Chrisopedia. Can't stop that guy. I don't know how I beat him today, but definitely, guys, hit the like. If you guys enjoyed this, stick around for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do the same thing, seeing as you guys liked it. Hit us up in the comments below. What battles do you want to see tomorrow? This is very, very important. Hit us up in the comments, guys. What battles do you want to see? Don't tell me tomorrow that you wanted to see this battle and you didn't put it up in the comments. You got to go ahead and help us out. Hit us up in the topics. Hit us up with some comments, and we'll see you next time on the SPACs.
Go Netherlands.
Go Netherlands. What up, guys? Just making sure I got my redirect set. I didn't want to end the stream and kind of let down the power hour, but I do got it set. We'll see you guys next time. Like always, guys, check out Power Hour.